There appears to be something embedded in the cabin wall. Getting close on that. It's a fragment of Beskar alloy.
Are you saying that Moff Gideon was taken by Mandalorians?
Hello there.
This is where the fun begins.
Hey there guys, Unofficial Star Wars here. Hope you're all doing well, and welcome to my The Mandalorian Season 3 Episode 6 preview video. We're going to be discussing different theories, and everything and anything else that we know about the upcoming episode of The Mandalorian. In this video, we are going to be taking a read from Inverse.com and their article. I'll have it linked in the description down below for you guys to check out there as well. As I read, this season of The Mandalorian has been less about Mando all that much, and more about the Mandalorians as a collective, and so far things look surprisingly good for the downtrodden race of bounty hunters, given the newest revelation heading into Season 3, Episode 6 of The Mandalorian. However, trouble appears to be on the horizon. Last week's installment did a lot of work connecting the dots between Season 3's two main storylines, on Coruscant and wherever the Children of the Watch are hiding out. On one hand, we know that when Bo-Katan takes charge, the Mandalorians seem to be unstoppable, so it only makes sense that she should be the one to reunite their splintered society and all the Mandalorians, making them all come together and have Bo-Katan be the new Mandalore. On the other side though, however, this season officially has a villain, or villains being plural. Moff Gideon is now on the loose, as we had now learned at the end of Season 3, Episode 5. And not just that, but it also seems that Moff Gideon has teamed up with other Mandalorians. I had a whole other video discussing this, of what I think might have happened there at the end of that episode there, in a separate video here on the channel explaining that, but essentially I say that I think it could be Imperial Mandos. Imperial Mandos we see in the Star Wars Rebels show, and well, they work for the Empire and they agree with the Empire essentially. There is also an Imperial rat nestled into the New Republic, and there might be some nefarious Mandalorian business intertwined in it all as well, which would totally blow up any Mando reunification plans to really make them all come back together, and just like that, tensions are running high in Season 3. So, this here all being said, everything that we know about the upcoming episode, Episode 6. As we know, this is going to be considered Chapter 22, and it's going to be coming out Wednesday, April 5th. And depending on your time zone, this is going to be at 3 in the morning for Eastern Standard Time for myself, and midnight for Pacific Time. I also recently just came out with a video discussing the runtime of this episode, which is being said that it's going to reportedly clock in at around 44 minutes long and 14 seconds. And after this episode, there's unfortunately going to only be 2 episodes left of this season, and I'm dreading it. I love Mando. So before we deep dive on some of the plot details that we know for this upcoming episode, and that we can speculate on what happened in the previous episode, let's recap on it. After Pirate King Gorson Shared lays siege on planet of Navarro, High Magistrate Grief Karga sends out for help from the New Republic X-Wing pilot Carson Teva. Captain Teva then heads to Coruscant to get New Republic approval for a rescue mission, but he runs into a lot of roadblocks and is aided by none other than Elia Kane. So from there, being a good person of what the rebellion is supposed to be about, a lot of things that we've been seeing in this overall show of The Mandalorian Season 3 especially specifically, and have also seen in the Andor show, is the flaws and the holes in the wall, essentially, that both the rebellion and the New Republic have. They're essentially the same thing, but we can see the reason that the New Republic is going to fall later and be taken over by a new empire, the First Order. And so being a good person that Captain Teva is, he takes matters into his own hands and descends upon the Children of the Watch's secret hiding place to ask for their aid. After a motivational speech from Paz Vizsla, Bo-Katan leads the Mandalorians into battle to liberate Navarro. As other Mandalorians fight on the ground, Din Djarin, with Grogu in his lap, and Bo-Katan lead combat from the sky. Eventually, they take down Gorson Shards and his pirates, and are rewarded for being heroes of Navarro by giving a chunk of land from Grief Karga saga. And so then later in the episode, in a one-on-one meeting in an abandoned Mandalorian forge where the series all began in Season 1, the armorer instructs Bo-Katan to remove her helmet. What a weird thing to request. I want to discuss this in more detail and specifics in a separate future video here on the channel. I have my fair share of overall theories on this, and an overall explanation for this is something I'm still wondering and looking for. She then tells Bo-Katan that her mythosaur sighting means it's time to rebuild the Mandalorian civilization. Back outside, the armorer tells everyone that Bo-Katan is the chosen one, essentially, of the Mandalorians, who will lead a mission to reunite the Mandalorians across the galaxy and eventually retake their home planet of Mandalore. And from there, the armorer sends Bo-Katan off to go find other Mandalorians. I've discussed this in my breakdown video and in other videos regarding the Mandalorian here on the channel, but 3 big Mandalorian characters I think out there in a galaxy far, far away that we could and should see in the next couple of episodes here that Bo-Katan is going to go and find and recruit, essentially, would have to be Boba Fett, Koska Reeves, and Fen Rao. And it didn't cross my mind until now, but I'd like to also throw Sabine Wren in there as well. I think would be really, really cool. And then from there, the episode concludes by, out in space, Captain Teva stumbles upon a derelict New Republic shuttle. It's abandoned, it's broken, it's completely destroyed and liberated as it seems. It turns out to be the same ship that was transporting Moff Gideon to trial, which confirms Teva's suspicions that Gideon has escaped. He then discovers something more interesting on the shuttle, a shard of Beskar alloy, which points the New Republic to believe that Mandalorians would be responsible for breaking Moff Gideon out of the New Republic. There's a lot of different theories on this that have been going around. I have a whole separate video here on the channel already discussing all of those. Go check it out. So that's pretty much everything as a recap of what we saw in the previous episode of The Mandalorian. So basing off of that, where can we go forward? Where can this overall story and narrative go from here? What can we expect to see in episode 6 of The Mandalorian? The article reads that Disney loves to be ultra secretive about the exact plot of its upcoming episodes, but we do know that episode 6 will be creatively helmed by veteran Mandalorian director, the one and only Bryce Dallas Howard. I love her work on all of the Mandalorian episodes that she's directed. She's done phenomenal episodes of The Mandalorian and also the Book of Boba Fett. She's responsible for the Book of Boba Fett episode 5, in which we see the Mandalorian actually get his Naboo starfighter and was centered completely around the Mandalorian. So given her history of directing an episode centering around Bo-Katan Kryze in season 2 as well, it wouldn't be necessarily surprising if this episode is going to be focusing on Bo-Katan as well. It's something I dread a little bit. I don't really want the entire episode to be about her, although I love Bo-Katan. I love Katie Sackhoff. She is more than flawless and phenomenal in the role of live-action Bo-Katan and also in animation. Although I definitely think that Bo-Katan could serve as like a subplot to this overall episode, much similar to what we saw in the episode of where we see the Order 66 flashbacks and also having the Mandalorians rescuing Paz Vizsla's kid. With the events at the end of episode 5 in mind, perhaps we will see Bo-Katan leading an expedition to search of other scattered Mandalorians with different creeds and different sectors and everything like that in order to reunite the tribes as one, as well as learn more details about who might have aided Moff Gideon's escape, although that's something still for the Mandalorians to actually, well, figure out. I think that Carson Teva could try and blame the Mandalorians. The Mandalorians are seeming a little bit fishy. I think Carson Teva could go back to the New Republic and say, hey, Moff Gideon made it out and he's really, really dangerous. We think it's the Mandalorians. We gotta go confront them, essentially. They're gonna go back to wherever they were hiding on that mystery planet of where there's big crocodiles in the water and learn and find that they aren't there anymore. Maybe are able to track them back to Navarro somehow, some way, but the Mandalorians in the eyes of the New Republic are looking really, really fishy right now. There are some big bad Mandalorians mixed up in all of this as well, or maybe someone else is in the galaxy trying to frame the Mandalorians and ushering it to complete chaos is something that we had also discussed in that video. The Mandalorians could have been framed by somebody, like an umpire of some sort that broke Moff Gideon out. It does sure seem as though the season is gearing up towards some kind of Mandalorian-focused battle, a civil war in the finale. Plus, the Darksaber isn't an issue if Bo-Katan is truly going to be the chosen one in essence of the Mandalorians, to lead the Mandalorians and to ride the Mythosaur. Of course, I would love to hear all of your thoughts and opinions in the comment section down below. What do you guys want to see in episode 6 of The Mandalorian? Your thoughts and opinions and overall theories I would love to hear in the comment section down below. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Thanks so much for watching today's video. Of course, this this has been Unofficial Star Wars. Have a great one, guys. May the Force be with you as always. Peace out.